Alright, what I'm going to do now is we're going to dress up the back of the fin area. So you want to get your stabilizer where it's going to go and your fin right in its slot here. And we're just going to make a couple pieces to run down the side of this. It helps support the fin and also gives it more of a rounding contour from the top of the stabilizer onto the fin. So you can do that a couple different ways. On the plan sheet you'll see on your top of your stringer here, usually it's going to run right from here and come down to the touch. You can do that if you want to. And then when you wrap up the plane, we're just going to make a little piece here to wrap down to that bottom or top of the stabilizer. You can take a piece of triangular stock if you want and just lay it in there with the stringer, and then you'll have something to make the curve to continue on the monocoating. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of 15/16 by a quarter. Any quarter-inch piece will do if you want. Mine's 15/16, so I'll come right to the top of that 7. I'm just going to run it, and basically I'm just going to mark my angles so I can get it down to the back of the fin. So with that in place, I'm just going to take my pen and make a mark right to the tail of the fuselage, right to the very back. I'm just going to come in here and make a mark at the very back of the fuselage. And then I'm just going to cut the angle from the top of here to this right here. Alright, I've cut my piece now, so you can see I got the angle. I cut it to the other side, and then I'm just going to turn this baby right over and cut one for this side. So it's going to fit right in here like so. And then the other piece is going to come down here, and then we'll just fill the center. That's the easiest way you can do it without having to measure a bunch of stuff. You're just going by, you know, whatever you have here for your pieces. You just want them to go on there. So the first thing I want to do is just get the measurement from back here to here. Just get a block of wood, like these one right here, and I'm just going to put this up on here. And basically I just want to mark the width of the piece of wood. Now you want to come right to the edge of the fuselage side, because we're just going to sand this to the shape of the point of this. So I'll just make a mark here. I'm going to transfer that mark up to the top with a square. I'm going to cut the size of my block down now. So now I'm just going to stick it up in here. And I just want to get the center of this block, and then I'll mark a center line across that. So that's what I'm doing right now. And now I need to know the distance. This is really the front of my piece, so now I need to know the distance from the front to the hole where the fin goes down into. See if we can't move the camera so you can see some of what's going on here. So here's the hole for the fin, and I want to go 1 1/16. So come back down to my little block of wood. I'll give myself 1 1/16 to the hole. Mark it, and that's where the hole, the square hole in your stabilizer is. So I'm just going to take my speed square here, just give me a line to go by, some kind of a crosshatch type thing. And now I need to go 1/4 inch from the center line, so I need to go 1/8 on each edge of the center line to give me the 1/4 inch. In here, 1/8. And then just somewhere down the line do the same thing, so you got 2 marks to go by. 1/8. Just take a straight edge and mark your 1/8 and go from the line that we drew across all the way to the end, because it's going to come right out the back. We're going to make the piece so it fits perfectly around the fin. And then you can let the sanding fest begin. And the sanding fest it will be, I'm sure. Alright, I've cut out my slot now. So now basically let's take this, and we don't want to go from the front part of the piece here. We want to go right to the very tip of the bottom, because if I do, I'll just draw that line on there and show you what the hell I'm talking about. Using a straight edge to connect the corner, so there we go. So I'm going to follow this line when I sand, coming down, and then I'm going to make another line on top, coming to the inside, and that's basically all I'm going to use as a template to follow my sanding. I want to leave it about, if I can get it to a nice fine point at the very end, it's great, but get real thin down that way. You don't want to bust anything, so just lightly sand and score things. So now that's going to be the angle that I come in from this side, and that's going to be the angle that I come down, and together it'll meet and look just like this little piece from the top view. So as you can see, I cut half of it away already. So that's kind of what we're going for the look of the whole thing here. Okay, release. Everything works so much easier and better when you have two hands. There we go. But now I can see what's going on. So see, I'm just coming down the sides. I want to make that a nice flat angle, and then that'll sit on the rudder and also or the fin. And then we're also going to taper it like these. Okay, I cut both of the top flat spots on both sides. So basically we're just looking pretty good now. So you can see from the side view this piece right here. It's basically I've carved down my piece here to the angles that I want. So as you can see, it's starting to take its shape now. And now I'm just going to take some rough sandpaper, and I went and put this on the front. And that's how I got my angle. And then I just, missed my target there. I just match the center line up to the center part of former F7. Everything will just hold together for a second. Everything falls apart when I'm trying to film. And then I just took my pen and just traced out basically about an 1/8 inch around the top of this, or the outside of F7 here. And now I'm just going to get a rough sand, and I don't want to bring this right to where it is till I build the back of the stringer set here that's going to go into here, and then I'll match the back of this to the front of this perfectly when I finish sanding it from that point. But I just wanted to get this piece made ahead of time, that way you're not spending a day or so on one piece here. It doesn't take that long. Just take a block. Like I said, you can do the other thing too. You just take two pieces of wood, just stand them up there and sand them flat down, or throw a piece of triangle stock in there. Anything will work that you want to do. You don't have to do a dang thing if you don't want to, but I would put at least one support running in here, or a square. All depends on how you want it to look.